I started work data scientist, and then I started my own company, which is used to help students in learning technical skill set using AI. And then currently, I am basically handling all the partnership with the IITs, managing their FDP programs and all other programs, where we are helping student, faculty members, and other people who are distinguished to who wants to create their career in AI and who wants to learn the use case and applications of AI. And that is why I would like to thank IIT Patna. I have Vishleshan, I have from IIT Patna to start this faculty development training programs for all the faculty members who have joined us from different part of the countries. More than 1,000 professors have registered for this FDP program. So today, this is the inaugural session, and I will be your host for the next 4 weeks. Today, we are going to understand, first, we are going to understand more about how this FDP program is going to work. And then we are going to invite our esteemed faculty member, Dr. Surya Prakash sir is there. And then we have someone from the industry side who has spent his last 10 years in the field of AI, Mr. Nupul Dev, who has been CTO, who is currently working as a CTO of Masai School. He will be there and talking about starting the today's lecture. But first of all, let's talk, when we talk about the AI, we all know that AI is rapidly reshaping the landscape of education, from personalized learning and automated assessment to the smarter content delivery and research support. In any field, when we talk about AI is making every single job more efficient. And it's not just limited to the technical jobs, but when we started looking at the job of any single individual, whether they are faculty members or whether they are working in other domains like lawyers or judges or CAs, or be it in sales, ops, marketing jobs, everywhere we are seeing that AI is right now dominating and helping the working professionals to enhance their career. When today, in today's concept, if we just talk more about from the faculty perspective, from the professor's perspective, we understand there can be so many use case of AI in make sure that we can enhance the efficiency of your day-to-day life. For example, automatic grading and feedback. We know that so many students are giving the exams, quizzes, giving their assignments. So if we can have make a system where we can automate their grades and we can give them a feedback which is more personalized from the AI, it can resolve much of our issues. We can, with the help of AI, we can provide them the personalized learning support. We can create our content based on the understanding of the students, and it can be different for different students. We can become more personalized, and our lecture creation and enhancement can be more efficient using the AI, right? And next things can be in the research field also. Many of the faculty members are involved reading different kind of literatures, academic papers. So AI can also help them in summarize those academic papers or literatures, this organizing citations, and even drafting the research protocols, right? And another aspect is where faculty members are much involved is tedious tasks like managing the meetings or sending the emails or tracking the attendance, sending the reminders to the students. All these tasks can be easily done by the help of AI. Hence, AI is right now is becoming so important. That is why IIT Patna has decided to start something where it's not just about teaching student AI, but it's more about how our faculty members can enhance the AI tools in reshaping their work and in understanding, in becoming more efficient, right? So this is the whole purpose of this whole FDP program organized by IIT Patna. I have, and with this, let me present my screen and give you an overview of how our next 4 weeks are going to be. So allow me to share my screen, and if someone can confirm if my screen is visible to them. Yes, thank you. So we have divided the FDP program into 8 sessions. 8 sessions taken by different IIT faculties, and different industry professionals are going to be there who are going to take your sessions, mostly in the field of how application of AI. What are the different tools? What are the different applications of AI which you can use to enhance your work, to make yourself more efficient and more structured? It's a 4 week intensive program where every week we are going to have 2 sessions on every Thursday, and then the next session is going to be on Saturday. You can say, you can on your screen, you can see the schedule from 15th May to 7th of June. All the lectures will be taken by the IT faculties and the industry experts. After that, you're also going to get some projects, which is basically help you more understanding the use case of AI. And eventually, after the completion you are also going to get the certificate from IIT Patna iHub. If you there are going to be 8 sessions. The criteria that IIT Patna has put is if you complete 6 sessions, if you attend 6 sessions, minimum 6 sessions, then you will get are going to get the certificate of FDP completion by the IIT Patna iHub. These are the 8 sessions, and all the sessions are planned on Thursday and Saturday. This is the schedule we can see. On every Thursday, we are going to have 2:30 to 4 p.m. live sessions. And on Saturday, we are going to have our sessions in the morning time from 11:30 to 1 p.m. Right. It's a 4-week program. 1.5 hours per session is the commitment. That means 3 hours per uh, week is going to be the commitment. Right. What we are going to learn? Definitely, we are going to learn the AI enhanced teaching, rapid courseware, prompt mastery, adaptive learning, assessment automation, data-driven insight, workflow automation, ethical AI practices, and some capstone blueprint. So basically, it's if I summarize all these things, it's more like there exist different kind of AI tools which we know, like Grammarly, Zoom, ChatGPT, Canva, Gemini is there, Grammy is there. Then we have quizzes, Curopod, Google Sheets are there. How we can utilize these tools and other AI generative tools, other agentic AI to enhance our work is the going to be the main theme of the FTP, right? So this is what we are going to do. The why this is very important, because in today's time, when all the students also wants to learn AI, and if our faculty members, if our instructors are AI enabled, if they know how to utilize the AI, and if they are utilizing AI to teach and train the students, that is going to create a different kind of insights, different kind of mark set on the student mindset. And that is why this program is very important for all the faculty members to learn and to use the start using the AI for their various tasks. Now, without further ado, this is the whole program. So without further ado, I would like to invite one of our faculty member for today, uh, Mr. Dr. Surya Prakash sir, who is the professor at Department of Computer Science and Engineering at IIT Indore. Dr. Prakash sir, he has been working in the AI for the last 15 years. He is at the very forefront of AI application and spans the critical intersection of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and biometric systems. But beyond his research, he is also a passionate educator, someone who has spent years nurturing minds in subjects ranging from neural network to applied linear algebra and reinforced learning. Yet, beyond his impressive academic credentials, like a dedicated educator who has continually inspired students and faculty alike through his comprehensive teaching. So, without further ado, I would like to welcome Surya Prakash sir to address our faculty members. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Aman. I hope I am properly audible.
Yes, sir, you're properly audible.
Okay, so first of all, very good afternoon to everyone, and thank you, Masai School, for inviting me for this inaugural program. I also take this opportunity to welcome all the participants, all the faculty members who are going to go through this program. I get, as you already mentioned, that this is the era of AI. I mean, you see any field, any walk of our life, we see that the AI is transforming these fields, be it automation, problem solving, enhancing our everyday life or anything. I mean, you see everywhere we see the AI, everywhere we see the use of AI. So I think it's a very well sought program. When we see that we are using the AI in every walks of our life, how can we exclude the classroom teaching? So I think it's a very good initiative by the Masai School to introduce different tools and techniques which can actually help our faculty members to enhance the teaching learning process and then also make their life easy. So in general, the AI is making the transformations, but particularly if you see the generative AI, it is really, transforming the things in a very rapid and very fast manner. So I think many of the things that we are going to learn here, the tools that we are going to use here, they are based on the generative AI. So I think in the process, we will be using the tools and also we'll be learning what is generative AI and then how it is transforming different things and how it can be used in teaching. So in totality, I feel this is really very good program, very good initiative by the Mushai School. Because most of us know that these different tools are there, but we never take first step to go and learn them. So I think with this program, we will be bound to go through these things in a very systematic manner. So I hope in totality this is really going to help all of us, all the faculty members. And as Aman was mentioning about the curriculum, so I have also gone through it. So I think this mostly talks about, how we can make use of AI in the teaching learning process. So different things that we are going to see here, they are going to help you in creating the teaching materials, your slides, and how to properly prompt your questions so that you can get scholarly output, for example, for designing the quizzes or for preparing the material and things like that. So that I think, he has already explained all the 8 sessions that are going to happen. So and I think it is going to offer kind of complete tools and techniques that are required for, like using the AI in classroom teaching. So, I'm just again reiterating, so this is really very good program. And I'm confident that all the learners who are going through this, they will be able to learn the tools and techniques, and they will be also able to apply all this in their teaching and learning process. So with that, I again thanks Masai School for inviting me for this inaugural session, and I wish all the best to all the participants. Wish you all happy learning. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable insight on how AI is shaping the future of education. Right. I would like to welcome Mr. Nipul Dev, Chief Technical Officer and co-founder of Masai School, an alumnus of IIT Kanpur. He brings a deep-rooted passion for programming, innovation, and emerging technologies. With a strong foundation in artificial intelligence, he has effectively leveraged a range of AI tools to simplify workflows and enhance process efficiency. His work reflects a thoughtful integration of technology with practical insight, offering perspectives that are both current and impactful in today's dynamic tech landscape. Welcome, Nipul. We would like you to address the professors and share more insight about the FDP sessions and start the first lecture. Over to you, Nipul. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Aman. Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, Nipul, you're perfectly audible.
Yes, loud and clear. Yes. Okay. Let's start with the first session. I think before I start, so what are the AI tools which you use on a day-to-day basis? I think most of you might be answering ChatGPT, Grammarly, Copilot. Yes. Okay. Billboard. Yes. Gemini. Great. Before we start the session, can you tell me which department do you belong to? Oh, yeah. We have people from various departments. That's great. So, just okay. So many answers coming in. So we'll start with the first session. It's around leveraging generative AI in education. So I think most of you might be using the very basics of the tools. And as usual, when it started, I think a couple of years back, I don't know how many of you read the original paper. Those are the faculty from the CSE department. Can you tell me the only one paper from which this whole chat GPT started? If any of you know it, the name of the paper. It's a very famous paper called Attention is All You Need. It's published from the Google. I think those who are interested can read it. But in today, we are not going to read the papers. I think that you do on a daily basis. So my expertise lies mostly into the application parts of it. I'll just do a quick introduction of myself. So one of the things that you all should understand is I don't come from a typical coding background. So I'm a self-taught programmer. I ventured into entrepreneurship. So my actual field is chemistry, and then ventured into entrepreneurship. Now I do a lot of projects around social impact and teaching. So again, at Masai, we used to do or train a lot of students in these new age technologies. Then we realized why not, with the help of uh, IIT Patna, leverage whatever the things which I learned to teach all the faculty members our experiences in terms of using these tools and these techniques to enhance the curriculum and the pedagogy which you develop. So one of the biggest leverage which we have is we have the freedom to experiment a lot, unlike some of you who might be having to follow a very strict curriculum and all. So again, I keep this session a mixture of practical application parts, and because this is a first session and people from various departments and different levels are there, we try to keep it very basic, understanding the basics of prompting and some very basics of the things, how you can leverage all things. Many of you might be thinking, or you might be using a lot of things in a very simple fashion, but after today's session, you will understand the true power of prompting and how very good prompting can help you in making a lot of your tasks very easy. Okay, so one of the things, again, we'll try to provide all the slides, the content, and the notes. So I try to focus upon this thing. I think I was taking one of the session with some of the faculty members in some college, and can you tell what is the biggest risk of a modern teacher or a modern faculty? What's the biggest risk? Engagement of audience, replace us by AI, time, redundancy. Okay. So I think there are two main competitors for us. One, or the biggest risk is students having very less attention span. And the second thing is we are all competed by something called influencers. I mean, not us, because all the students which we teach are very much influenced by these folks whom they take away their attention span. But the good thing, there's a small good thing which you can learn from them is they know how to engage with the audience. They know how to catch the attention of the audience, right? So that's one of the things we are fighting as teachers or as faculty. So if you can understand their mindset, how they create the hooks and all the things, we'll be able to kind of engage better with the students and also kind of work in a better fashion with the students. So that's the crux of it. Like they say, I don't know how many of you know in the world of Netflix. Can somebody tell me what is the Netflix biggest competitor? It's a statement made by the Netflix CEO. Sleep, yes, I think most of you know. It's not Prime, it's not Hotstar. So Netflix think of themselves as the biggest competitor is sleep, right? So in this era, if you want to sustain, you need to understand not only the surface level, but you need to go a bit more deeper into some of these things. So the first thing which you are going to learn is the very basic of prompting. I don't know how many of you know coding. How many of you do coding from technical sector? No, most of you don't know. Some of you know, or some of you don't know. Okay. So in this era, the new programming language is going to be English, right? It's not Python, it's not C, C++ or anything. So in the true era of AI, I think the name that people has given to it is called vibe coding. I don't know how many of you heard this name. So you need to be able to give instructions to the machine in a much better fashion, in a much concise fashion, to be able to extract the relative outputs or the best outputs out of it. Now, trust me when I say, when you are writing better prompts, you can be able to get better outputs. I think I'll start with showcasing how we leverage at Masai some of these things, right? So again, so we take online classes. So you can see this is an online almost a 2-hour class of some of the faculty. After a class is recorded and uploaded to our LMS, you can see automatically the transcript is generated. And from this transcript, notes, summary, and concepts are generated for the students automatically. Basically, we use the basics of prompting and we are using the existing LLMs to generate these things. So again, you can see the whole pipeline. Video recording, from that it generates the transcript, and then it generates the summary, it generates the notes. Notes are much more detailed, summary is small, and it also tags which concepts are covered, because previously we need to keep a track of what are concepts that are being tracked or covered in each of these classes. So this is a custom built application, you need not to worry, but you can see the power of all the things that are available. We are able to automate a lot of stuff. We are able to extract insights of what are these videos and all the things that you can see that, right? Again, the same you can use in many of your day-to-day tasks. And as a curriculum or pedagogy engineer, so one of the most important thing that you need to be doing is prompting. So I think one of the things that I want to talk about is it is capable of creating content, text, images, audios, and videos. By the way, I'm going to showcase some of the real life prompts and see how you can do things. And again, there are different kinds of models. When I say the models for, I mean, the generation of this content. So again, we'll in some of the classes maybe we'll talk about how these models can be used or can be tweaked to kind of enhance to get better results. And the most important part is you can use it in research, content creation, data assistance, which I think most of you might be struggling, especially when you have a lot of things and all the things. But keeping all these things aside, so I think one of the most important thing that when you're interacting with any of these things, so we use a lot of uh, generative AI in what we do at the education space. In fact, the biggest complaint which I get from the business team is you're making a lot of bills for the cloud, which comes into thousands of dollars, but that's fine. But we experiment a lot in terms of how and what are the use cases of all these things. So mostly we'll start with the basic prompting. So here you can use 4 different tools to get the basics of things, and each of the tool has a different model, different kind of output. But mostly we find the teams at Masai, especially the curriculum teams, we have a 70 folks curriculum team over here. We use ChatGPT, we use Gemini, we use Grok. We see Grok being much more better in some of the cases, especially in the research part of it, the online research part of it. And this is by Grok is by Twitter, and sometimes we use DeepSeek again. It's better to have many tools in handy because one of the things that advantage which we get is we get one of the tool to produce some output, and we use some other tool to review it. So that's one of the things. By the way, one other crucial thing which you need to understand before these things is, I mean, when you get deeper into this side of things, to get you understand how these tools generate the content which you see. So many of the things are generated by something called probabilistic models. So I just found a visual to help you explain or understand how this actually the text which you see on the chat GPT, all the things will get generated. So this is a small visual, try to understand. So this is how the text which you see, which are called the transformers, is being generated. So you pick a word, it finds out the next possible word in a list of words with the probability and all the things. So you can see it is going word by word. That's how it generates the whole sentence. I hope you are able to, this is a visualization of what happens internally in the LLM to kind of just put a visual layer to it to show what is actually happening. Now you got the context of it. With each this thing, it has infinite possibilities from which it picks up a better probable word. Right? So the crux of this is, one thing you should understand from this is, because it is selecting based upon the probability, it has something called hallucinations, which you might have heard this word, right? It tends to kind of generate data which might not be truly accurate. There are ways to restrict it. There are ways to put guards in it so that it doesn't do so much of hallucination. Again, there are many ways in which there's something called the temperature. I don't know how many of you know. Have you heard the word temperature in the context of these tools? Yes, no? Okay. Anybody? Yes, yes, only few. Okay, so we'll get there. So we will then start with the very basics of it. So many of the times we'll understand the basic prompting, right? So when you write something or when you write some instructions for any of this tool to get you some output, I think you write something like this, right? So I'm talking about an instructor who is teaching JavaScript or something. So outline the core topics of for 1 week JavaScript fundamental modules. Okay. Uh, can you tell me what is the kind of prompting which I did now? There's a very specific name to it, which I'm pretty much sure most of you might be using it in this manner. Yeah, I think so. This is the very basic of prompting, which we call it as zero shot prompting. So here what happened is, try to understand. You have not provided any examples. You have not given any context. It's just a direct question which you asked. Okay, I'll increase the font. It's just a direct question which you asked AI to give you an output upon. By the way, if I give it to, let's say, Gemini and all the things, again, you can see each one creates a different output. Maybe you'll understand in some of the, after some of the classes uh, why this happens. Again, the speed and all, but the kind of prompt which you give, saying that outline the core topics for 1 week JavaScript fundamentals module. So this is called a very basic thing called zero shot prompting. So you can see quite, I don't know why it's giving it in Hindi. Maybe we'll try to do the thing. So you can see the output of both of them is slightly similar, but in a different way. So you can see now the power of this thing, having multiple tools, you get multiple outputs, and you can kind of, most of them have free credits. You can also kind of move around the tools to kind of, whenever some of the credits are expired. So this is the basic thing. So now I'll go and give you a different example. And in this scenario, we are using this to kind of, many of times, I think one of the crucial thing, which, like I said, right, to become an influencer, I think, can you tell me what are the most crucial thing that many of the influencers use to attract any of their videos or this thing? Yeah, they use a hook, especially the thumbnail or the thing, right? So when I say to the faculty or the instructors that students are not coming to my class, you just need to tweak the title of the class. When I say the title of the class, let's say, imagine you are saying, let's take a very small example of um, chemistry, right? So I'll take a chemistry example. Let's say you are going to teach about reactive metals and all the things, and you are saying that in today's class, you are saying tomorrow's class is all about how elements react with water, right? So this is the title which you put, right? How elements react with water. Then I create a very much catchy line. Then that the name of the title is, can you create fire in water? Right? Again, the whole context changed, right? And do you think people will be excited to come to the class seeing this title, creating fire inside water or on water, whatever it is? Basically, people will be much more excited because the students might be thinking, how can water and fire kind of work together? It's not possible, right? So basically, all you have to do is put sodium on, or throw sodium into the water, and it creates fire. And that's a different thing altogether. But so the titles play a very crucial role, right? So when you're designing your classes and you want to design titles in a uniform format and all the things, so maybe you have a style of doing the things, right? So now let's look at this example of the prompt, right? So here I'm saying example micro lesson introduction. Welcome to day 1 of our Python basics. Today we will explore variables, data types, and simple IO. Now you are asking AI to write similar introduction for React Basics, because you want everything which you create, especially when you're creating a very great coursework or curriculum work to be of uniform standard, right? So you want to maintain that uniformity, you are giving it one example. And somebody, can you guess what is this kind of prompting? So here, I think the kind of prompting which you learned is zero shot. Yeah, I think pretty easy it is. It's called one shot prompting. So basically in one shot prompting, what you're trying to do is you are trying to give one example to the AI and ask it to give output. So can you tell me what are the advantages of it? Again, in terms of zero shot prompting, the advantage is you don't have to spend much time. It is very quick. You don't have to think. And the cons of it is it can give you very vague answers. But giving example, one example, you are kind of telling it without giving the context. What is the kind of output you are expecting? And again, the con is because you provided only one example, everything will be monotonous, right? I think now if you move on to the next set of the things, I think pretty much sure this is what is the best thing which you can do, especially when you are new to prompting. And I think many of you might be able to name it. So it's called few shot prompting. And this is one of the most popular thing which you should do when you're trying to get output or by the way, this also helps in few shot prompting when you are trying to do grading, right? Because if you give anything for the AI to grade, it will grade randomly on a scale of 1 to 10. So let's say you have to grade 100 assignments. The better strategy would be take 5 of various things, maybe 1, which is very worse, which is in 1 2 range, 3 4 range, 5 6 range, and 8 to 10 range. You give that examples and say, I'm going to rate this as 1. Then you rate the next 100 of it or next grade 100 of it. Then it will give you the grading as per your standard, not as per the AI standard, because it has very specific examples of how it needs to grade, right? So again, multiple use cases, but it is very good at identifying the patterns. But again, you might have to spend a bit more time on creating the examples, right? Okay. So by the way, any questions still here? I hope the pace is okay. You are able to learn something new, or am I also boring faculty like what students say? Okay. Yeah, number of shots increase accuracy. Yes. The more examples it get, the better it will be. It will be able to get at a lot of things. Which method of prompting is good? We'll get there. So what I've done is I'll talk about various kinds of prompting and all the things, and we'll also I created a small framework because it becomes difficult to keep all these names and all the things in head. I created a small framework. I'm going to explain that thing also. Yeah. Okay. Now I think the next thing is making AI mimic generally what we do. Okay. So as a human, what we do, let's say I ask about uh, design a curriculum for maybe computer fundamentals. As a human, what we do, keep the AI aside, keep the Google aside, keep all the tools aside. As a human, what will you do? Read different textbooks. Again, nothing, I don't have anything. So generally what you do is you go into deep thoughts, right? And reasoning. So this is how it typically works, right? Let's say imagine an era where there are no tools. When you have to design curriculum, let's take a basic addition, creation of addition, subtraction, and all things. You are teaching it to kids. What you do is, okay, I say, okay, let me put start with addition. Let's say I teach the first in first class 23 plus 43. then you try to kind of think that, okay, this might not work. I need to you analyze why it might not work, right? And you kind of do all the things. So basically what you're trying to do over here is you are going into chain of thoughts, and that's where the name comes from. So in this case, there are very specific words which you use. Let's say walk through or detail out or explain step by step. So these are the keywords which you use in prompt to kind of arrive at this kind of prompting technique called chain of thought. Okay. The only problem with this is, again, you can use it. Again, I'm going to explain it in a different fashion. So maybe on the operation side, explain the step by process of organizing. So again, you can see one thing you can clearly see in this kind of prompting is, what is it? The output is, irrespective of the tool which you use, the output is much more verbose than what you are getting previously. Let's use DeepSeek. Again, so this is the Grok one. I mean, I gave a different prompt. Explain the step-by-step process for organizing a weekly student check-in meeting, including why each step is important to keep sessions smoothly. Again, as educators or as faculty, we might not be good at non-academic stuff. So there, you might want to understand a detailed out process of all the things. So you can see, again, it is much more verbose than if I just remove this explain step by step. So this is, again, irrespective of this, when you use these keywords called walk through, explain, step by step, it gives very detailed outputs of it. And this is how the chain of thought works. Again, and the next most crucial part of prompting which you are going to learn is, many times you are asking the AI to give something or to output something without giving him or it your personality, right? Or what you are acting as. So again, you don't generally give a persona to the AI when you're asking or when you're prompting. And this is where the next technique comes into picture. And here you give the persona to the AI, and it is called role prompting. So basically, you are asking the AI to take a certain role. So you're saying you are a senior instructor in Python data structures at Masai School. Okay, so this is called role prompting. So one of the things you should understand from here is, it is useful in hundreds and thousands of scenarios. Let me take one more example of some of the things. I mean, excuse me, I have cold, so my voice is a bit off. So this is one of the bigger prompts. So you can see what I wrote. I want to act as a travel guide. I will write you my location and you will suggest a place to visit near my location. In some cases, I will give you the type of the places I will visit. You'll also guide me places of similar type. Okay. So I can see over here, again, because I'm using a different model. So again, it's truly acting as a travel guide. So you can use many of the things. Okay. Let's try to be maybe a stand-up comedian. So here the prompt which are written is, I want to act up as a stand-up comedian. and I want a humorous take on policy. So many of the times, like I said, right? So you want a very specific things to be done in a very specific fashion by an expert nutritionist, or you can say as expert in evaluator and all the things. By the way, it helps you in many other tasks. So basically, what you're trying to do is why? Because internally, it kinds of understand what are the personas, how a person who has a PhD in mathematics thinks differently from a person who is a psychologist, right? So the context changes very drastically. Instead of giving it a lot of information, it assumes that role so that it's much more easier for the output to customize. So this, I definitely think you should use in many of the places which you're trying to put some prompting. And yeah, now I think as faculty or as academicians, one of the things which you might be doing is something called uh, criticism, or being your own, what you can say is reflection, right? So this is called reflection prompting. So what you are trying to do over here is you're trying or giving instructions to the AI to kind of rethink what it has produced, the output it has produced. By the way, this is a bit old technique now. It's not so much uh, in use. The reason for that is many of these tools came up with this deep thinking, uh, whatever you call models. So internally, it kind of does these things. But the one use case where I find it much better is, let's take this example, right? Now, I produced the output of organizing a weekly student check-in meeting. I created output. Again, we use it very extensively. What we do is we produce output from one model and we give it to a different model. And this is where it becomes much more powerful. Rather than using the same model, or rather than having the same tool to be a critic, find the process gaps in this. So again, what I've done is I took the output from one and I gave it to the outer output to be a critic. Now, in this, what happens is you are leveraging some of the pointers that the previous model has missed. And this is how you do peer reviews. This is why you do multiple people reviews, right? So, so these are some potential gaps. Lack of explicit mention of student input. So you can see no explicit mention of considering the ideal group size for effective iteration, while flexible items are current needs. So you can see the focus is on in meeting roles. You can see it identified a decent number of gaps in this process, which definitely it's not there in this process which it has created. So it's definitely good. That's why we said, if you use these multiple tools, give the output from one to the other, it becomes much more helpful in terms of doing the things. Okay. Any doubts till this? Clear? Nothing? Okay, great. Now we're going to learn some very simple tips which will help you in kind of um, help you in your day-to-day task very much. So many of the times I see people, and it becomes a default habit of mine or anyone's to put, let's say when I gave this output or when they gave this input to this, and especially when you're writing text and all the things, you kind of not have ways to separate. Let's say you have two emails to distinguish, or you have two emails to compare, right? So one of the most important thing which you should understand is many of these tools use a delimiter, and especially three backticks. I think the backtick is the symbol which you see beside the one. So I'll show you how basically most of these tools you need delimiter in terms of, especially when you're giving mixed content. Otherwise, if you give two paragraphs and you say which is the best paragraph, uh, it might not answer. So you should write something like this, which is better. So again, maybe you say para 1, para 2. Generally, what you do is you kind of don't use any delimiters and you kind of put the whole text, especially long text. It doesn't understand where the first text is ending, where the second text is ending. So take two paragraphs. So I put this text over here. So these are called delimiters, which you use a lot in coding, but especially in terms of prompting. So when you're giving multiple things, not to get mixed up of all the things, this is one of the better way to do it. Okay, so again, it will give you the things. Again, it might not be, you might not be seeing the absolute benefits of it, but if you have long text and all the things that you will understand. I think most of you use, I think the explicit formatting. So that means when you want to say you mean bullet points, you mean tables, you mean in this format. So one of the things, as you use these tools much and much more for your day-to-day task, you should have the ways to cut off some of the things which you don't want to use. And here we're talking about negative instructions. And literally what you do is, when you don't want something to never happen, right? So I'll take an example. Or here, I'm just saying. So these become much more prominent because why? Many times you are maybe providing some sensitive information, and the biggest problem with prompting is many people blindly copy paste what is the output of it, and you don't want something to be there. Let's say you don't want to include any student names, right? So you can explicitly put in the prompt that not to include any student names, not to include any student mobile numbers. So all these things AI will exclude it, so that it becomes much more a better format for it, uh, or a structure where in which you can kind of easily do it, right? So this is the basics of negative instructions. Okay, so, and I think uh, one of the things uh, I think most of you might be using, I'm just taking an example, is the tone of this thing. So again, many times you want to be professional, you want to be a bit more casual, friendly note and all the things, or sometimes you want to be witty. So you can have these multiple tones assigned to your conversations. Let's say you want to be serious and you don't want to use particular words. Let's say you want to give a harsh mail or harsh feedback to a student, and you say be a harsh critic, but don't use the words like punishment or maybe debar or whatever it is, right? Or this thing. So now you can see, it creates, again, you can see the basic output of it. because you provided the tone, all the things, the output you get is drastically different from what you're getting. So you can see, welcome to the bright future. Let's get this party started, light-hearted. And again, different things, but the tone really changed the output of it. Again, you can see over here, 9 a.m. we'll have coffee ready, don't worry, right? What to bring? So you can see the power of it. I don't know how many of you use, especially I use it a lot when I'm taking sessions with a lot of students, because I mean, I don't want my session to be boring. Maybe you have your own session notes and all, and feed it to the AI, make it be it act as a role of a maybe an influencer or a stand-up comedian, and turn your session into completely different session. I think previously you might have to put a lot more effort to be there, but now it becomes much more easy to kind of do those kind of things without much effort. So tone is one thing which I definitely use a lot in many of the things which I do, especially creating content. And yeah, I think we have looked at a lot of things and tools and techniques and various ways of prompting uh, to kind of get or arrive at better things. But you might be wondering, do you have to remember all these things and all? No. So I think because we teach a lot of students, and as usual, students uh, need small acronyms to kind of uh, remember all the things. And especially we are a coding school, we come up with a very singular framework called CTRL or control, which you can see on the keyboard, the leftmost side. So any prompt which you write, if you ensure if these 4 things are there, I'm pretty much sure you can expect a much better output in terms of what are the tasks which are trying to. So let's try to understand what this 4 stands for. Control stands for, C stands for context, T stands for tone, R stands for role, and L stands for level of detail. Again, many of the times you will be using prompting in a much various tasks, but you don't have to remember all the things which you have learned till now. Those are the background ways on how it can be better. But if you have this context of, if these 4 things are there in your prompt, I can assure you that you can, I mean, I can't assure on the AI output side because it tends to hallucinate, but you can kind of get much more better, what I can say is output from this AI. So when I say you get better output, what does it mean? So let's say when you are trying to create a notes, right? So this is the things, and this is how some of the bigger prompts tend to look, right? Again, prompting as usual, you might be thinking it's a single line thing. It became like writing paragraphs. Okay, so here you're defining the role. You are a senior instructor in Java's data structures at Masai School. Write an announcement. 50, 150 to 200 words you are spending or telling the detail which you want. Introducing the final project of advanced sorting. Use motivational tone. So you can see the tone which you are mentioning, and explain why these algorithms make. Again, you are providing the whole context of what you are trying to do and all the things. So, and this is how prompts tends to get bigger and much more detailed in terms of kind of the things which you tend to do. Again, if you ensure these 4 things, one of the most crucial part that you can ensure you is you get better output of any of the things which you are doing. So just remember this 4 letters control. By the way, it's there on the keyboard, so you don't have to kind of remember all the things which you have to put in the prompts. By the way, this framework is also because we teach a lot of things to the students. This is also created using AI. I thought I gave it to AI saying that we need a very simple kind of acronym for people to write better prompts. So it generated it with after a lot of iterations, we find of realize that okay, it's there on the keyboard, it's there everywhere. So it's easy for the students. So again, using it makes you a much more better person in terms of and set you apart from the things. Now, I think much of this prompting and all. Okay, some of the things which we tend to also do is use one tool to create a prompt and use that prompt in the other tool. I'll tell you a showcase an example of how this can be done. This is much more fun and much more better. Create, by the way, I'll show you. Create a poster for AI session for students. Again, you know that you will be using this thing. So again, you can see it creates a poster, right? This, I think this most of you might be using. But now what I'm going to do is create a prompt for creating a poster on an AI session with students. So now you can see I asked one tool to create a prompt. By the way, if you want to write this prompt, it's very difficult for you to write this prompt. You have to put a lot of things, put a lot of thought process. So this is one of the things which recently we started using with various tools. Create prompt from one tool, make it refine or criticize using other tool, refine it, and finally use one tool to produce the output. So let's see the output, how it get. By the way, image generation is slow, you all know. So when you're giving these simple prompts, you miss a lot of details. If you are asking AI to create these prompts, you can see how detailed it is, right? Right now, what I'm trying to do over here is I'll try copy this prompt. So you can see this is the basic poster it created. Now I give this prompt is a much more bigger prompt in terms of, again, the advantage is you can tweak it, branding, size, text layout, tone and design. You can see use bold tech inspired visuals, circuit patterns, colors. Again, once you get this prompt, you can tweak it and you give it as an output. I don't know, and most of the times it works. I don't know. It also based upon luck, but that's how one more technique. So, but I think because you are from various departments and all the things, you might be wondering, you might be hearing a lot of buzzwords. The next 15 minutes, I'm going to explain you the key buzzwords which you might be knowing or you might be hearing in this AI domain space. Maybe in some of the sessions we'll deep dive into them, but I think you might be heard this thing called, by the way, the next 15 minutes which I'm talking about, I might not be technically accurate because I'm explaining it in slightly tweakish terms to a lot of folks. So most of you might be heard this thing called model, right? So again, can you understand what a model is? Model is nothing but a big mathematical formula. Let me tell you, if I ask you, take an example of eggs, right? So if I tell you the price of 5 white eggs is 100 rupees, the price of 5 brown eggs is 200 rupees, and it also depends upon the size of it. Now, if you have to arrive at a formula for the generic price, small size, large size, in form, free range, and all the things, so your formula will have ax plus by plus c, right? Now, if you have multiple uh, many things, especially hundreds of parameters, thousands of variables, one of the things which you will understand is it becomes very difficult for you to create that model or mathematical formula. And that's where these people who train this data and they get the models. By the way, those who are interested, so there is this site called Hugging Face where you can see a lot of open source models. By the way, you can't see the formula, but you can think of them as big formula files which you can download and do many of the tasks. In fact, if you want to run some of the small models on your computer, you can run. Basically, you can have your own ChatGPT kind of system running on your computer. So I think for that, you need a tool. It has a lot of things called Ollama. I think we'll use it or try to do some of these things in some of these upcoming sessions. So again, it's open for, I mean, you can try and explore, you can put some models on your local things and it works. You don't need internet. You can, if you are concerned about privacy, you want absolute strict thing, which you don't want the data to be given to third parties, you can run these things internally also in the local systems. So again, so these are these big formulas which tends to create the output. So 2 or 3 things that you need to understand in some of these things is something called temperature. So you might not be seeing this temperature parameter in whenever you're using it, but when you use this through API, whenever you can see over here, it's much more detailed in terms of what are things. It has this AI code and AI, all these things. So again, the way in which you are prompted, it changes the output of it. Yeah. So again, talking about things, if you install Ollama, you can do it all the things locally. There are 2 things that you need to understand. Like I showed you when we started the class, it generates the text, one text after the other text. If you say, and let me give you an example, right? And I'm just talking to you about how these models are trained. If I say the sky is, if I ask you to guess the next word, what will you guess? This is how the models are trained, because it has trained on all the data it is available on the internet. Okay, now let's see. You have very various answers coming on here. You're saying, somebody is saying blue. Okay. Somebody is saying cloudy. Okay. Interesting answer. Somebody is saying sky is limit. You can be gray, right? It can be clear, right? Now, if that's what it's called. These are called tokens. And think of token as one word. They generate text token by token, token by token, because they have been trained on all the data. So if you are kind of trained on all the data, you can say that maybe blue will have 50% probability, cloudy might be 25%, maybe this will be 10%, maybe this one 3%, 1%, or maybe purple, maybe 0.3%. So this is a probability of the words that can be done, right? So again, based upon various scenarios, there's something called nucleus sampling, there's something called temperature. So temperature, I'm just highlighting temperature because it's available as a config when you are interacting with a lot of tools. So low temperature means it tends to pick up the words which have higher probability. So it is much more factual, it's much more realistic. When you have high temperature, it tends to pick out words which are also low probability are there. So if you want to AI to give you output which is much more creative, you have to pick higher temperature. If you want it to be much more factual, and if you want to be pick up only those things which are much more probabilistic, you have to use lower temperature, maybe 0.1. By the way, this goes from 0 to 1. Okay, so again, these are some of the advanced things. So that's the things. And the final word, the final thing which I'm going to be very cautious is it does a lot of hallucinations, because I'm telling you these are based upon the next most probabilistic words. These are not facts, these are not research based things. So you have to be very careful, especially I'm emphasizing this example much more because we are in the field of education. We can't afford to have one mistakes, because there can be multiple implications of it. So try to be much more cautious, try to review it. So that's why use 2 3 tools to kind of get work done, get it reviewed by other tool, maybe find flaws and all things, but that's how it can be done. Again, now I want to showcase some of the prompts which we use on products level. So I think many of you I explain all of these things. I don't want to use so these are some of the actual prompts which we use in some of the tools at Masai. So we can see how big the prompts can be. So you are an interviewer good at data structures and algorithms. A question has been shown to the interviewer on the screen. Again, we have a voice-based assistant. So this is a prompt for that voice-based assistant. So this is one of the things when students want to learn new things, we created a prompt to learn something on their own. So you can see how big the prompt can be. Again, so it became so this thing you can tweak it. You can have your own style of content creation. Can have your own style of this thing. Again, this is a prompt. Many times student asks to take mock interviews. We can't have all the capabilities, so we ask AI to be the mock interviewer and all the things. You can see all the things. I think uh, I think many of the things you learned, but I think when we started the session, we started with how AI is going to change. Or many of times when I talk to students or folks or faculty, they ask me a question: What will happen to teaching role when there is AI? Right? I think uh, it's a various concern across all the academics, all even not only this thing, schools, colleges, everywhere, even higher education. So this is my personal take on what's going to happen. As faculty, as instructors, we never had the tools. Again, just to showcase you, I don't know how many of you can relate to this. So I think it's a basic screwdriver and a basic saw. As academicians, we only had the basic tools to kind of do all the things, and we can't wear multiple hats of a creative writer. We can't have the multiple hats of a good content writer, or creating great posters, or doing some data crunching and all the things, right? So we always had the very basic tools. And I think with AI, we have these new power tools. Again, the tools are the same. Previously, we might be slow. I think pretty much sure I believe that the role of the faculty, the interactiveness or the inspiration that the teacher or a faculty brings to the students can't be compensated with any of these tools. So that's where our role lies, in kind of understanding these tools, leveraging them, having that power capabilities to kind of uh, create all the content and any of the things that we need for these engaging sessions. So yeah, so that's the whole crux and summary of the session. If you have any questions or doubts, I can take. I hope you are able to at least learn some new things today. I mean, you tell to your students it's of no use uh, until you start using them. The whole summary I'm going to recap: the CTRL. You have to remember this only one thing that's there also on your keyboard: control, okay, context, tone, role, level of detail. Right. So that's all from my side. What to you, Aman?
Thank you, Nupul, for taking a very wonderful session. Thank you so much. Again, a very warm welcome. Hello to all the esteemed faculty members and instructors. Can you please let me know on the chat how was the session? Well, I can see so many good comments there on the chat. Yes. So yes, guys, this was the first session of FTP. Big thanks to Nupul, big thanks to Surya Prakash sir for their presence, and thank you again IIT Patna here for organizing this. Now I'll just take you through the next step. So there are two things left. One is the community and one is your attendance. So let me guide you on how we are going to do this part. First of all the lectures, we are going to record all the sessions and we are going to provide you the recordings of all the sessions. And all the contents will be communicated after this on a WhatsApp community. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to share you the link of a WhatsApp community channel. You all can join and become the change maker. So yes, Mohammed Raja, can you please share the link? Yes. So guys, all the faculty members, you can see the link on your chat. We have shared the chat. Let me share it once again. Please join this. And then after that, I will share you the link where you can mark your attendance for this particular session. Right. So I'm sharing the link once again. This is the WhatsApp chat where all the communications about the FDP, about what is going to happen, about the lecture notes, about the tools, about the certificate, about the projects, every single information is going to be there on the WhatsApp community. Yes, we are going to share the recording, sir. Do not worry. Unable to join. Let me check once again. It shows we have reached the limit. Okay. Let me just let me just check it once and I'll get back to you. Yeah, can you please try once again? Can you please try once again? I'm sharing the link once again. Please try now and confirm. I'm getting so many messages that we have unable to connect. Okay. You can also scan and join the WhatsApp community. Okay. Okay, so sir, okay, I've got it. What is happening is right now all of you are trying to join, and so WhatsApp is taking this as a bug. So what we will do, we will personally share you the link of the WhatsApp community over the mail IDs which we are having of yours. So this we will share to all the faculty members who will fill the this attendance form. So for the attendance, what I'm going to do, I'm going to we have shared this feedback poll. You can write down your name, email ID, phone numbers, and can give the ratings there. And any how did you find the lecture today? Please fill the form. We have shared the feedback poll here with all of you. Please, I believe everybody is able to see the feedback poll. We have launched the feedback poll. I believe everybody of you are able to see the feedback poll. Yes, I started getting answers. So please put down your phone number, your name, email ID, phone numbers there. And how did you rate the today's lecture? And how did you find that was the experience? So it is on your screen. We have launched the feedback poll. You can just check and I can see 100 people have already filled the feedback poll. Yes, it will be on your Zoom screen only. We have launched the feedback poll. You can see. So this is the attendance for all of you. If you have joined this lecture from the mobile phone, then you have to just slide your screen so that you can see the feedback poll there. Sir, poll we have shared already on the Zoom. So what you have to do, those who have joined from the laptop, they must be able to see it from the in the screen directly. But those who have joined from the mobile phone, they have to swipe their screen in the right side, and then they will be able to see it. For WhatsApp, what we are going to do based on the attendance, we will share you on your mail ID and your phone number. We will share you separately the link by in the evening, and so that all of you can do this part. But I request all of you to please fill the feedback poll so that that we will understand that you have attended the session. So far, we have reached 800 faculty members have already filled the feedback poll. So my request to all the people, I can see 1,500 faculty members are joining this, right? So feedback poll, if you're not able to see, sir, not able to join the WhatsApp community, no issue, Devesh sir. As I mentioned, we are going to share you the separate link on your registered mail ID and the phone number that you're providing right now. But please fill the feedback poll. This will be considered as your attendance, and we will share the details of your WhatsApp community on this particular mail ID and your phone number. So do not worry, sir. Next session, Samir sir, is going to happen on Saturday, 11:30 to 1 o'clock. So all of you can attend that session. I believe today's session was a wonderful session and you must have learned something. Sir, no worries if you're not joined the WhatsApp, that does not matter. We are going to share you the link once again. Right now, the important thing is fill the feedback poll so that we can track your attendance on the feedback poll. Please fill your name, email ID, phone number, and experience. Second thing is, if you're joining from the mobile phone, please swipe right so that you can see the feedback poll. We will share the content on the WhatsApp community. First, we will share you the link to the join the community, and then we will share the content on the community, sir and ma'am. I can see 1,000 students, 1,000 faculty members have already filled the form and 500 remaining. So we are waiting for them. Those who have already filled the feedback poll, they can leave. We are done with the session. Thank you so much, all the faculty members. And from this point onwards, I will not address all of you as a faculty member, but I will address all of you as change makers, because already you have taken this initiative to apply AI and to initiative to make India AI ready. So we, from today onwards, we are going to address all of you as a change maker. So those who have already filled the form, all the change makers can leave. But those who have not filled the form, they can stay on the session and fill the form. Thank you so much, sir, for joining this session. The next session is going to happen on Saturday, 11:30 a.m. We will provide you the link, all the links, things will be provided to you. So you can leave the group thing. We will again going to share the link once again. But right now the feedback poll is very, very important for all the change makers to fill. So feedback poll should be there. It should be visible on your screen. If you're using the mobile phone, I'll ask you please just swipe right so that you can see. Those who have filled the feedback form, yes, sir and ma'am, you can leave. Those who have filled the feedback poll, they can leave the session. Don't worry about the WhatsApp group and community. We will share the link once again to your registered mail ID and your phone numbers. So the feedback poll is there, feedback poll which is there on the screen. So let me help you out in one way also. Those who are unable to see the feedback poll, what they can do, they can simply give their email ID and phone number. Name, email ID, phone number in this format, name, email ID, phone number on the chat, and I will pick it from there. Those who have not able to submit the feedback poll, they can simply in one message, your name, your email ID and your phone number you can give so that I can take it. For example, I'll share you the format. In one message, sir, in one message, please. Yes, Kaushik sir, just like you have given your name, email ID, and phone number. If you have not filled the poll, if you are not able to see the feedback poll, then this is the format in which you can give your email ID. Those who have filled the poll, they can simply leave the session. Thank you so much for coming, and I welcome all of you to the faculty development training program by iHub IIT Patna, and together we are going to make this successful. So I again request all the faculty members, all the change makers, those who have joined, please fill the feedback poll. This is your attendance. And if you're unable to see the feedback poll, you can simply write your name, email ID, and phone number so that I can take it from the chat. Sure, Deepika ma'am, we will consider Padma ma'am's attendance. Those who are unable to fill the feedback poll, as I mentioned, please give your name, email ID, and phone numbers. And then who have submitted the feedback poll, they can leave, and or who have given their name, email ID, and phone number, they can also leave. Thank you so much, all the faculty members, all the change makers, those who have taken this initiative to join today and taking the one step in the making of this nation AI ready. Yes, all this, your WhatsApp community link will be shared to your WhatsApp number and to your mail IDs by tonight. So do not worry. That's why I'm asking. Please fill the feedback poll so that we can get the attendance. Already we have got the attendance of 1300 faculty members, and we have already got 100 people phone numbers on the WhatsApp on this chat. So I think only 100 faculty members remain. Those who have not filled the feedback poll or not given their name, phone number, and email ID. Please give these three details: name, email ID, and phone number if you're unable to fill the feedback poll so that we can mark your attendance. Thank you so much. Those who have already done, thank you so much for joining today's session. Yes, Kaushik sir, WhatsApp community link is not working. That's why we will share the link to you separately. So regarding the next class, to all the change makers, faculty members, the next sessions are going to held on Saturday, 11:30 a.m. You all will get the link there. But again, I'm requesting all of you to please fill the feedback poll. And if you're not able to fill the feedback poll, please write your phone number, email ID, and your name on the WhatsApp chat. And those who have already filled the feedback poll, they can leave the session. Thank you so much. Thank you for attending and take this initiative. Those who are not able to fill the form, they can simply write in the chat in one message their name, email ID, and phone number so that I can from backend, I will mark your attendance. Bye, Sanjeev sir. Thank you, Manish sir. Manisha ma'am. Satpura sir, have we got your message? A. Kali sir, we got your message. Please provide your phone number also. A. Kali sir. Anil Kumar sir, we got your message. Anil Bharti sir, we got your message. Sandeep sir, the next session is going to held on Saturday, 11:30 a.m. I'll request all of you to join there on 11:30 a.m. on Saturday. The detail will be shared soon. So thank you so much, everyone. And now I will be leaving, but this session will be on for next 10 to 15 minutes. And you, if you have any doubt, you can write down on the chat. My colleague Shlok Sharma will be here, who will help you out. Or you can just please fill the feedback poll so that we will track your attendance. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. All the recordings of this session and the other sessions will be shared in the WhatsApp group. So the WhatsApp community link will be sharing through email and WhatsApp to you all. You will be receiving it today. Thanks a lot, sir, for the appreciation. Yes, it was indeed a very informative session. And for such sessions, we will be connecting with you again. The next session will be on Saturday, 11:30 a.m. So kindly join that session. And as Aman told everybody, that 6 out of 8 sessions you need to attend in order to be eligible for the certification. There will be overall 8 sessions that will be there in this particular series of 4 weeks. Anybody who is remaining to fill the feedback poll, kindly complete that so that we can close this session as well. If somebody is not able to fill the feedback poll, there is a feedback form in case you are not able to fill it. And yes, Sugandha ma'am, if you have filled the feedback poll, then you can leave this session. Absolutely. Yes, the WhatsApp community link will be sharing again, sir. So don't worry on that. You'll be able to join it then. So everyone, whoever has filled the feedback poll, you can leave this session now. If the feedback poll is filled by you, you can leave this session now. And the next session will be happening on Saturday, 11:30 a.m. So kindly join that session. No, ma'am. No. This particular details will be shared with you in the WhatsApp community. We'll share the WhatsApp community link also. Ashish sir, if you have filled the poll that is there on the screen, then no need to fill any other thing again. This poll is enough. So you can leave the session now. People who are yet to fill the poll, kindly fill the poll quickly so that we can end the session. Yes, we'll share the WhatsApp community link. It will come to your WhatsApp as well as your email. Okay. Any other queries? Anything is there? You can please ask me, sir. I'm here to help you all with those things. Whoever has filled the feedback poll, kindly leave the session. It's okay now. Moreover, if you're not able to fill the feedback poll, you can put your details in the chat section. That is also okay. No, sir. If you have filled the feedback poll, then it is okay. Now you can leave the session. I didn't receive feedback form. It is on your screen, sir. There is a feedback poll. It is a pop-up that has arrived. If you have joined from mobile phone, you just swipe your screen and you'll be able to see it. If not, then just mention your basic details in the chat section and you will receive the communication. Okay, anything else? Does anybody has any query? Is anybody left to fill the feedback poll? Quickly complete it in the next 2 minutes, then we can end this session. If anybody is still left to fill the poll, please fill it. And then we can end this session. If Vipransh sir, you are not able to fill the feedback form, it's okay. You can mention your details in the chat section, or you can fill this particular Google form that I have shared in the chat. Yes, Neeru sir, you can leave this session if you have filled the feedback form. Absolutely. People who have filled the feedback form, you can leave this session. It's okay. The WhatsApp group link will be shared with you on your WhatsApp number and your email address, whatever you have provided. So you can join the community from there. People who have filled the feedback poll, you can leave this session now. If you have any queries, you can ask in the chat section. So I guess most of you have filled the form. In case some of you are remaining, you can fill it. And in case you have any queries, you can ask in the chat. But it was great hosting all of you. It was our pleasure to have this particular session and host all of you today. And in case you have further queries, you can connect with us on the WhatsApp group link that we'll provide you, or you can directly email us on the email ID on which you received the invitation. You can connect with us. Okay. Thanks a lot, guys, for attending and looking forward to seeing you in the Saturday session. Thank you, guys.